Hello there, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us here on Ideal World. We've got some extraordinary, and I'm talking extraordinary savings for you today on cruises. And for many people, these are going to be holidays of a lifetime. Here's a really good idea, a little tip before we get going. Go get a pen or a pencil to write down, one, the phone number of Planet Cruise, because it's not Ideal World that brings these to you, it's Planet Cruise. And get ready to call these guys, because some of these deals that we bring you today are exclusive, and some of these deals that we bring you today will sell out. I am not joking. When you hear the savings, and I'm not just talking hundreds of pounds, in some cases thousands of pounds that can be saved. So please get yourself a pen or a paper, or a pen or pencil, and get ready to write down some of the details. Now, let's take an opportunity to introduce our expert. This is Justin. Great to see you, Justin.
How you doing? Great to be back again, Paul.
Like myself, I believe you worked on cruise ships for many years.
Yeah, I spent 6 years at sea, and now I get to relive it all, and that's the great thing. All those little places that you find you can share now with people that are going to go and enjoy it and have those happy memories.
And are any of the lines that we're looking at today yours, the line you worked with, or lines?
We've got P&O coming up for you later on, but some of the lines we've got today, Planet Cruise are top agents. And I think that's one of the main reasons to book with Planet Cruise, is because when you actually pick up the phone and speak to somebody, it's not just a call centre, you're speaking to experts. People like myself that have actually worked at sea. So know the difference between the decks, know the difference between the formal nights and the informal nights. And, well, let's just say customer feedback is at 96%. Customer feedback, which especially with that much competition around, that's why so many people come back time and time again with Planet Cruise. And one thing, if you are a Planet Cruise fan, then make sure that you've already reserved your space for Sunday's cruise show that we've got in Southampton. You're going to get a chance to meet Keith and Sean.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd love to be with you. Unfortunately, I can't be with you this year, but hopefully I'll be with you next time. So get online, register your interest. There's going to be so much on, and this is the last show now, as in on Ideal World, before Sunday's show in Southampton.
So you don't need to call for that one, just register to go to it, and that is on Sunday. Free entry for that as well. If you have got any questions or anything you'd like answered, then please feel free to send in those questions. And the address for that is hello@planetcruise.co.uk. That's your email address. Of course, you can do it via Facebook or even Twitter if you prefer. Now, let's get started, because we've got a lot to cram in.
Yep.
And when I say a lot to cram in, you might say, well, you always do 6 cruises. Some of these cruises, our last cruise, 22 nights, basically 3-week cruise. So a lot of ports are cool for you to talk about.
I'm really looking forward to that one as well, because it's Christmas in the Caribbean. But let's start off with our first one. Holland America, fantastic line. And this actual deal that we've got here, sailing from Harwich in the UK off the coast of Essex.
What can you tell us about the line before we get going?
Oh, right. Well, Holland America, fantastic when it comes to their food and their entertainment. The ships are slightly smaller than some of the larger ships that you see coming in and out of Southampton, but it's all about quality. And this is a Norwegian Fjord cruise, a fantastic 7-night, and just look at the facilities that you've got there. Again, it's going to be fantastic to be out on those open deck spaces and using the facilities while sailing through all these wonderful vistas that you've got in the Norwegian Fjords, and a fantastic time of the year to be going as well. All of the onboard facilities that you'd expect from a modern cruise line, but we're talking 5-star luxury that you've got here.
Yeah.
Fantastic food, fantastic rooms as well. So, you know, you really have got a week of indulgence, not just on the eye, but on all the wonderful things that you're going to see on board the ship. It's a destination in itself.
I'm lucky enough to have been as a passenger. I know I worked on ships for 18 years, but my wife and I were actually on Holland America as passengers, and we absolutely loved it. So it's certainly one that we recommend. I always actually say there isn't a bad cruise line, it's just finding the one that's right for you.
Exactly. It all depends on what, excuse the pun, but floats your boat. You know, if you like the shows, you can go
I don't know if I can excuse you on that particular pun. So that's Holland America. You've got some idea now of just how beautiful the ships are, and they really, really are stunning. But, of course, this is a brilliant itinerary too. So let's take a moment right now to talk about that, because one of the great things is it's Harwich to Harwich. That's the UK to UK. Well, if someone's going, I don't know where Harwich is, where exactly is that?
Just off the coast of Essex. So if you do need to perhaps organise any travel arrangements or a night overnight, ask the guys at Planet Cruise. This is what we specialise in, bespoke cruising for you. Yeah, of course, you don't have to worry about flying out and any weight allowances, and of course, you're coming
as much luggage as you want.
Exactly. All I'd say is, you know, just pack a varied suitcase, because everybody thinks Norway, oh, you're going north, it's going to be cold. actually completely the opposite. It's fantastically warm. Of course, you're going to the land of the midnight sun, and Bergen, one of my favourite ports. When you sail into Bergen, you've got this beautiful port, and on the actual harbour side, you've got these gorgeous, colourful buildings. Every week they have a fantastic fish market, and you can see here, that's where you're going to be walking alongside, from where you actually dock, down into the centre of the town itself. When you walk past these buildings, you'll come along to a funicular railway that you can go up into the mountains. All I'd say is, I recommend you book a tour if you're going to go up into the mountains. I went up and I didn't realise how bad the weather was. I got lost. Oh, and in fact, it wasn't for the fact that it was a late sail, I wouldn't have made it back to the ship. That was one of the only times that I nearly missed the ship. In fact, you can see the lights just up on the
that's a funicular.
top there. That's going up into the mountains. Of course, this is the land of Edvard Grieg. This is the land of the trolls. So it really is, you know, beautiful. Really is a fantastic place.
Because we've got the fjords as well.
Well, and this is the great thing that, you know, part of your day and part of the next actual port is actually Geiranger Fjord and cruising through this fjord as well. Now, this is one of the most beautiful vistas. It's actually known as one of the best fjords in the world. You'll see the Seven Sisters, you'll see the Bridal Veil waterfall as well, and you can see here, I can't remember which fjord it is, but there's actually a cliff face that actually looks like a face. As you cruise around it, you'll see it. Usually there's always a commentary from the bridge or one of the port experts. And I mean, that's where you're going to be going. It's just beautiful log cabins. Remember, this is where the Norwegians actually go in the summer, and then in winter they move back inland. But that's the waterfalls that you're going to be seeing. Absolutely beautiful. On to your next port of Alison. Now, this is a really interesting port when it comes to history, because if you go back in time, it was actually William the Conqueror's grandfather was part and parcel of the building of this actual town itself. So it's steeped in history. You've got some fantastic Art Nouveau designed buildings because of a disaster about 800 years ago. It was completely wiped out the whole of the town, and it was rebuilt. So that's the great thing, that you've got that history there, but you've got lovely modern architecture as well. Then on to another beautiful day where you're going to be sailing through the fjords of Ida Fjord and then Hardanger Fjord.
And I think it's worth mentioning, you know, you might be thinking, oh, is it going to be nippy, is it going to be cold, is it going to be like Alaska? Well, it's really not. I mean, you talk about the end of summer here, it's stunning. One of the things I enjoy doing is sitting out on the deck and just watching the place go by. And a lovely idea is to sit out there with maybe a hot chocolate and a little bit of brandy. Oh, it's lovely.
Here we go. We're only a few minutes into the show and you're starting to talk about drink.
But you can even sunbathe as well. Obviously, you can never guarantee it's not going to rain or what the weather's going to be like, but you can really sunbathe on these cruises.
It really is fantastic. And one thing, actually, just on the subject of drinking, if you know Norway, Norway's quite expensive for alcohol, so that's the great thing. You're actually cruising to you know, a place where, whilst it might be quite expensive ashore, you've actually got all of that beautiful vista, but on board you've got those fantastic great prices. Then, of course, you're leaving to come back to the UK, no flying and sailing back into Harwich.
Now, let's just talk about the deal here, because we're talking from 479. If you thought you could never afford a cruise, I'd say think again, because this is so affordable. And please bear in mind that, you know, this isn't some little shanty cruise line you've never heard of. This is one of the big boys. I cruised for 18 years, and I will personally recommend them. They're amazing. There's a free upgrade available as well from interior to ocean view on the 29th of August. And even if you go on the other dates, then £100 to get that upgrade. Well worth it. Please bear in mind that these are exclusive reduced prices. You can only get these reduced prices from Planet Cruise. You've got a free upgrade, as I just mentioned, to the Ocean View if you're on the 29th, and it's worth having Ocean View on a cruise like this because you want to be able to look out that window and see the view. It is stunning. Huge savings on this. It's better than half price. Better than half price. That's a £670 saving per person. So, you know, a couple of you going here, you're saving over £1,200. There's your pricing categories. You can see that. And it really is the great line of Holland, America. Now, your ID number for that particular cruise is 81638. I'm giving that to you because if you decide to call, you can see the number at the bottom of the screen, 0800 781 5458. The team's waiting for your calls. But if you can give them the ID number, it's straight to that cruise. Or, of course, if you go to their website, planetcruise.co.uk, and you want to do a little more research on your own, that ID number will work there too, and that'll give you more information. But don't miss out on that. That's certainly one of the most affordable cruises that we bring you today. Now, we're very lucky because not only today do we have the expertise of two guys that cruise around for a while, we've got a gorgeous young lady as well.
Paul, it's lovely to see you.
Ruth, you were cruise director, if I remember rightly.
Yes, I worked on board for 15 years. I know I don't look old enough. I do.
You don't look old enough.
Oh, thanks very much.
So, whereabouts did you cruise? Were you all over the planet?
Yes,
15
I'm lucky
years?
enough to have sailed literally around the world. I've walked along the Great Wall of China 3 times.
Wow.
I've been to the Rio Carnival, the Great Barrier Reef. But, you know, it was an amazing life.
And now that you're on land, you know, you've got your webbed feet.
Yes.
You've gone to work for Celebrity Cruises, is that right?
Yes. And they are my absolute passion. I live it, breathe it. People who know me actually say, are you tattooed through the middle with Celebrity Cruises? And I say, absolutely I am.
Wow.
It's a true and honest passion.
My sister worked on cruise ships too.
Yes, she did.
It is her all-time favourite line. She loves Celebrity.
Lovely to hear.
She always says they're 5-star. Would that be right?
Yes, it is. We are definitely a premium brand. Our tagline is modern luxury. So we've really brought cruising into the contemporary and into the modern world, into the 21st century.
And she told me about, I don't know much about it, but concierge class. Can you
Yes, we
elaborate on
do
that?
have. We've actually got a concierge class offer for you if you want to upgrade today. Concierge class is a step up from a standard balcony, and we offer things like canopies delivered to your stateroom every evening, a pillow menu, fresh fruit, flowers, sparkling wine, priority reservations. Superb.
And you're also an award-winning line. What sort of awards have you
We
got?
are. Well, we swept the board last year, and
Wow.
already this year, Celebrity has been voted Best Premium Cruise Line for the 5th year in a row, and Celebrity Eclipse, which we have today, has been voted Best Ship Sailing from the UK for the 3rd year in a row, so we're absolutely delighted.
All right, I've got one question. It could be tough. I'm sorry if I'm
Oh,
going to
go
catch
on
off
then.
guard here. For me, I just said to Justin that I don't think there is a bad cruise line. It's about finding what's right for you. What makes your line unique?
Well, I think it is the fact that we're so modern. We actually have the largest collection of wines at sea. We have restaurants with the menu on an Apple iPad. We have half an acre of real lawn. My favourite bar is up at the lawn.
Right.
And it is real growing grass. We have a guy with a lawnmower. I
Oh
want
my
his job when I
goodness. I've
retire,
never
sailing
seen
around
that.
the world.
I'd love that.
You must come visit.
Yeah.
But my favourite bar is the Sunset Bar. And I always say, close your eyes. Imagine your toes in the lawn, spectacular views, and a cold beer in hand. Now, who doesn't want to be
Ruth,
there
you've
right
got me
now?
so excited. Yeah, all right, I am really, really excited about this. Let's take a moment to actually see some of this. We're going to watch a video clip right now. Keith, who you'll recognise from Planet Cruise, is on board the ship.
Launched in 2010 by round-the-world English yachtswoman Emma Pontin, the multi-award-winning Celebrity Eclipse is one of the most beautiful and well-appointed ships I've ever had the pleasure of sailing on. Welcome to modern luxury. There's daily enrichment opportunities on board with hands-on art classes, Rosetta Stone language courses, engaging public speakers, and even a chance to polish your jive or learn Zumba. But best of all is this place. It's called the Lawn Club. Real grass, expansive views, live concerts, lawn bowls, croquet, and just behind me, the excellent hot glass show. Each one of Eclipse's 12 bars has its own unique feel. Try a new wine or two at Cellar Masters. Lovers of luxury will adore the skill of the mixologists at the world's first ever world-class bar. But if you like to be in the heart of the action, then definitely try the Martini Ice Bar. Over 100 amazing cocktails, juggling bartenders, and the chance to write your name in the ice. There are 10 restaurants to choose from, so as you cruise around the world, so do your taste buds. You can dive into a delicious plate of true rustic Italian cuisine at the Tuscan Grill, or devour a plate of filet mignon in the French-themed and Michelin-style quality Muranos. But for something that sums up Celebrity in a nutshell, you simply must try cuisine. The menu is presented on an iPad, and it includes things like sushi lollipops, lobster escargot, popcorn fish, and disco shrimp. I tell you what, eating has never been so much fun. The plush main theatre on board a Celebrity Eclipse offers cutting-edge shows to rival the West End, Vegas and Broadway, with musical theatre tribute shows and song and dance spectaculars. Designed by a very talented group of 5 ladies, and with 6 different varieties to choose from, all of Celebrity Eclipse's staterooms offer true modern luxury. From comfortable inside staterooms through to these gorgeous suites, which feature floor-to-ceiling windows, panoramic balconies and your own private butler. Trust me, once you've unpacked, you won't ever want to leave.
Brilliant. Come on, we've seen the line now. We've got some understanding what it's all about. Ruth shared a lot of information. Justin, do you want to take us on our itinerary?
Yeah, we're going to leave from Southampton. Again, great actual sail out of Southampton to a port that you don't often see on itineraries.
18 years at sea, I've never been to this next port.
Really?
The 6
Never.
years that I was at sea, I only called in there once, but
Wow.
it was such a memorable time. It's usually on an itinerary when you're doing a transatlantic, and that's one of the reasons. So it's great that you go in
Have
there.
you been, Ruth?
Yes, I have. I was there admittedly about 20 years ago, but as you can see from the pictures there, it is in the middle of the Atlantic. It's very typically Portuguese with the beautiful cobbled streets, very relaxed, very natural, not built up at all. It's beautiful.
Wow, I want to go. Now we get to Funchal.
Yeah, and Madeira, well, this is just one of my favourite ports.
And mine.
One of the things you've got to do, go to Blandy's, the Madeira wine specialist. They've got these fantastic vintage brandies and wines that are there. I mean, the actual landscape is fantastic. This is one of Winston Churchill's favourite holiday resorts as well. You've got to do the cable car up to the top, come down in the toboggan.
Yeah.
The open-air market with the flowers are just beautiful.
The Strelitzia, the bird of paradise, which grow there in their thousands. And go to the Ritz for afternoon tea. Reed's Palace for afternoon tea.
Oh, I usually just stayed around the cheap bars around the port.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between
Steak on
modern
the stone.
luxury and Justin.
What I
What
love
can
about
tell
it
you?
is the way that it contrasts so much from the Canary Islands.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because this is so green and lush. Then we go to Canaries. Tell us about the Canaries, Gran Canaria.
Do you know what? Gran Canaria, Tenerife and Lanzarote are just all fantastic. I mean, you've got just all year round sunshine. And all I would say is, just even if it's an overcast day, please do put your sun cream on.
Oh, yeah.
My father-in-law, who used to live in Tenerife, always used to say the amount of people that used to get burnt. It's fantastic sunshine. The ports are fantastic. The actual landscape is amazing in Gran Canaria.
Then we've got Lanzarote.
And Lanzarote as well is just, Timofeya National Park that you've got there. Plenty to do out and about, and great shopping as well. I mean, all the Canary Islands are great for shopping, in particularly Tenerife. We're jumping around here. Yeah. All of them. Volcanic islands, so quite unusual when you get down to the beaches, because, of course, you've got black sand.
And of course, we have a day at sea to chill out before we get to Lisbon.
Yeah, and again, a fantastic port in a great way. I mean, this really, if you love Portuguese culture, then you'll love this. This is the 25th of April bridge. It's one of the 30th large suspension bridges in the world. Opposite to that, you get Christ the King statue, very much like Christ the Redeemer. The Belém Tower, just down from the bridge, is fantastic. And then you've got the Fathers of Discovery statue as well. I mean, the trams are fantastic. Oh, look, there's the Belém Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Just down from the bridge. Absolutely superb. Lovely little walk along there, and there's some great little restaurants just down from there as well. So highly recommend a little bit of a ramble around there.
Now, you've seen the itinerary, because it ends with a couple of days at sea, back into Southampton.
Yes.
But come on, let's share this exciting news for you. Ruth, you're on the show because this is a flash sale. We've got new prices.
Yes, we've launched it just this morning, so it's perfect timing for us today. It is a flash sale, started today. We've got an interior stateroom starting at an amazing $999, and then we're
For
giving
13 nights?
Yes, in modern luxury, and
Holy
we're giving you
mackerel.
a free ocean view to balcony upgrade, which is only £100 more.
Wow.
1099. Very rare that you would see a balcony at that price with Celebrity Cruises. Absolutely amazing.
Get ready to write down the ID number. We're talking 78638. That's your ID number, whether you're going to the web or you're going to call the team. 78638. It is a flash sale offer, so it's a ridiculously low price. Free upgrade from ocean view to balcony. Come on, you're going to be cruising in luxury here. And if you wish, you can add that one night at the Meon Valley Marriott, so you can get down to Southampton the night before, stay overnight, and of course it gives you the opportunity then to leave your car there. It includes that, and it includes transfers to and fro the ship. So £450 savings there. It really is very impressive.
It's an incredible offer, but it will sell very quickly at that price. It really will, so don't take too long.
Ruth, I really appreciate you coming in today. It's
It's been
great
an
to see you again.
absolute pleasure. Lovely to see you
Don't
both.
leave it so long next time.
I won't. And actually, anyone coming to the Planet Cruise Show on Southampton on Sunday, I look forward to seeing you there too.
Brilliant. Well, we've got lots more to go through. Let's take a moment just to recap the concierge, because you shared that with us just a moment ago. Let's go through what Ruth was saying. It's just a sample of what's included in that concierge class. Priority check-in, which is always nice. You feel special immediately. Personalised concierge service. If you're not sure what that word means, it's like being able to go down the front desk and having a front desk receptionist specifically for you. You get welcome gifts, sparkling wine, fresh fruit, exclusive celebrity tote bag, main specialty seating preferences, daily delivery of afternoon canopies, custom blended shower gel, complimentary shoe shine service. If you've ever been to a posh hotel, you know you can go to concierge and say, I need a taxi, or how do I get this, how do I get that? And it's like having your own, I guess, your own guide, your own butler, and they're taking care of you. That's what it feels like. So really do consider that. Now, let's take the opportunity to move on to our next one. And in fact, this is P&O, so this is your old haunting ground.
Well, actually, the actual ship, Oceana, I actually launched Oceana out of Fort Lauderdale for the maiden season, so it was great. She was one of the White Sisters. We're going to see Keith in a couple of seconds' time, but all I'm going to say is this is one of the best value cruises I've ever seen, because the price per night per person is unbelievable.
About £50 per person per night.
£50,
yeah.
And we're talking a cruise line. We're not talking about just, you know...
economy hotels.
Exactly. This is a cruise line at some of the greatest ports.
And, of course, it includes your food and it includes your entertainment in the evenings as well. Let's take a moment to see that video clip where Keith has been lucky enough to go on board.
At just 77,000 tonnes, P&O Cruises Oceana may not be the biggest in the fleet, but she certainly packs a mighty punch. Fresh from her recent refitting, she was extensively and expensively refurbished and looks absolutely beautiful. Oh. You know, as a proud Englishman, the centre of my universe has always been my local pub. And on P&O, you really won't go wrong by visiting this beautiful yacht and compass nautically themed pub, which serves up a healthy selection of Britain's best. On top of that, you can really live the high life on this ship with the bubbles of the Magnum champagne bar or dancing into the wee hours in the chic Le Club. Whether you choose the more traditional fixed dining of the Adriatic or the freedom dining of the Ligurian, both restaurants serve up consistently delicious food from an ever-smiling army of knowledgeable waiters. For those who prefer their dining al fresco, then why not try a super tender steak at the Horizon Grill on Deck 14? You guarantee great taste and even better views. Or pop along and let Marco Pierre White dazzle your taste buds at Café Jardin. Friendly and interactive, as well as diverse, Oceana offers many entertainment options, from the high-rolling fun of the Monte Carlo Club to the cabaret and comedy of Starlights. You can pop along to the atrium for a classical recital, or head here for a pint and watch your favourite team in the Winners Sports Bar. And then, after a great meal, go to the Footlights Theatre, where you'll be hard-pressed to believe that you're not actually sitting in the West End. Stylish and inviting, Oceana's cabins come in all shapes and sizes, from spacious and fully equipped suites like this, offering a host of extra special touches, to mini suites, balcony cabins and standard inside or outside cabins. But all come with a host of mod cons and a daily steward service, plus the all-important tea and coffee making facilities. Because if you're like me, you can't even face the rest of the world without at least one cup of coffee.
Now, again, we've had the opportunity to see the vessel, to see the ships. Let's take an opportunity to see the itinerary. So this is Southampton again.
Yeah, again, no flying involved, no need to worry about luggage, and what a great way to start into your
when you're thinking, you know, 2-week holiday, it's nice to be able to take all the luggage you want.
And just remember what you bring back as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because all of the goodies as well. First port of call that you're going to is La Coruña. This has got a fantastic history. One thing you've got to see is the Torre de Hercules, which of course is the 2,000-year-old Roman lighthouse. It's had many different adaptations, but it's just a fantastic place to visit and a lovely way to start your cruise. Then on to a relaxing day at sea, and then into Gibraltar, my first ever port.
Really?
I'll never forget. So nervous. The sailing to this is great. Get in early, because to see the Rock, go up there and see the monkeys. Just go careful, because they will take anything. They literally will. And of course, shopping is really good there as well. So always a great place to go to for your duty free. Then we've got another nice relaxing day at sea before you cruise right up through into the Med, into Corsica and Ajaccio. And of course, this is the birthplace of Napoleon Bonaparte. So lots of history if you want to go and see Napoleon's house. And then if you want to venture out a little bit further, Corsica. I actually spent 2 weeks in Corsica. It was that beautiful. mental, I had to go back. Some of the gorges and the forests, you've got the Visavona forest and the Prunelli gorges. You've got to go and see those. And also, if you like your wildlife, it's one of the only tortoise protection centres in the world. 130 different species of tortoise. Wow. So quite varied, actually, in Corsica. Then you're going on to a big port. This is the one that you need to book your tours early. Planet Cruise do offer dedicated tours as well, so make sure that you do book early to avoid disappointment, because Livorno is a great place to go in itself. But if you're going to go and see the art, if you're going to go and see Michelangelo's David, if you're going to go to the Ponte Vecchio Bridge, but you've got to go to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Yeah. You've got to go there. Do it all in one day.
To be that close to it and not go and see it, it'd be
and take the picture as well. Where it looks as if you're holding it up. Just opposite there, though, like every great tourist spot, there's a fantastic little market where you can get really good, authentic sort of souvenirs to take back.
I love the next port of call as well. I love it. I love Monte Carlo.
It's, well, yeah. I mean, it's... Well, would you go on holiday to Monte Carlo?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, but probably not, because it's so expensive.
Oh,
You're cruising in there.
I'm lucky I have an uncle who lives there.
Oh, yeah, right, OK.
So I've been
You're my new best friend. Of course, if you love F1, there's, of course, the fantastic Casino Square that you see on the Formula 1. Of course, you've got the swimming pool complex, you've got the tunnel, you've got Rascash, you've got all of the famous corners, and you've got boutique after boutique after boutique with no prices. If you ask the price, you can't afford it. One place, though, that is good to go is the Princess Grace Gardens as well, so one to mention. Then you're going to be going to Barcelona. Now, this is a great place for shopping, a little bit more affordable. Lovely bit of culture as well, because you've got all the architecture from Gaudi. You've got to go to the cathedral as well, that's never been finished. There's so much to do here, and the buildings, the Gaudi buildings, are just fantastic. And then, after all these big ports, a lovely way just to finish off with one of the most beautiful, rustic and authentic ports in Spain. Cartagena. I believe your mum lives there.
Well, she's probably about 12 miles away, and it is absolutely stunning. It's, in fact, I always say this is how the Spanish live. So you get an opportunity, instead of seeing all the tourist areas, you get to see some beautiful beaches, great countryside, lovely little coffee shops and everything. It's just I'm really lucky, again, I've been there several times, and it's just a nice way to see the real Spain, if you like. But then, of course, you've got a great opportunity to chill out and really enjoy...
Just unwind, getting yourself ready to come back to Southampton as well. So, again, Southampton, you're going to be coming off. Perhaps if you wanted to book an extra night in the Meon Valley as well, of course, you've got your parking included with that. So another thing to consider, depending on where you're travelling from in the UK.
Now, some great news. This is another flash sale. So let's tell you what's included with this, because you've got some brilliant deals. It is a flash sale offer. Your savings are immense. If you want to, you can add on to this an extra night at the Meon Valley Marriott in Southampton. That means you can stay the night, so you're ready, relaxed to get on the ship. It's £75 per person, but that does include your parking as well for the 2 weeks, and of course your return port transfers. You've got great savings on here. Think about it, £50 per person per night. And that includes your food and your entertainment. It's crazy.
You wouldn't be able to do that in the UK, and it's a great experience. Of course, you know, I'm going to say that P&O is great, but they are the Great British Cruise Line.
So that may well be one for you. ID number for that is 79493. Write that one down. That's really one to consider. But come on, let's move on to our next cruise, because we've got so many to get through, so many great ports to call. This next one is very different to what we've been talking about so far. This is a river cruise. This is Viking Cruises. What can you tell us about Viking, Justin?
Well, first of all, this is one of the first Viking cruises that we've actually had on this show. So make sure there's no ID number on this one. You've got to call the guys at Planet Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
And Viking, they are the market leaders. Where you have your cruise ships, I mean, you can see the atrium there, a lot more modest inside, because, of course, you're not on the open ocean. You're on a beautiful river. And the vistas that you're going to be seeing here are completely different. One thing they pride themselves on is all the engines that they use are not just economically friendly, but also silent running. They use a lot of hybrid technology, so the actual cruises are even smoother. I know that sounds like a strange thing to talk about, because, of course, you've got all the facilities on board, but a lot of people that may have experienced perhaps smaller ships and boats on other river cruise lines will think, oh, it's going to shake, it's going to shudder. You don't experience it. It's such a smooth glide.
I think one of the nice things too is you're so close to the water, whereas on the cruise ships, you know, you could be 10 or 15 decks above the ocean. Here, you're just above the water. It's lovely.
And instead of having thousands of passengers, you're just going to have a couple of hundred. All of the actual boats that they've got are beautiful, really are. And they're not what you expect to go on like a river cruise just for the day,
Yeah.
obviously you've got that week to enjoy it. Now, the ports that you go into...
Well,
if
I
you're...
looked at it and I thought it's very much, tell me if I'm wrong, but it looks like it's wine orientated to me.
Well, straight away you say Bordeaux, so you think of wine, but you're actually going all through the little regions of perhaps some of the wines that you've never heard before. And the great thing is that you're not sailing overnight, you're actually docked alongside for a lot of overnights.
You can get off and go ashore and do your thing and see the bars and see the nightlife.
Exactly, and because of the size of the ship, you're getting into smaller places. You're seeing things that are a little bit more off the beaten track, and that's the great thing. And Viking Cruises, they really do specialise in quality and including lots of different things into the actual cruise itself. Now, if you do like your wine tasting, you can see there all of the actual vineyards just up on the hillsides that you've got. Of course, Pauillac, a great region for wine. So if you want to go out, there are some optional tours that you can do. So it's great for you to get out there. Well, let's just say a completely different cruising experience from what you'd experience on an ocean. So if you've done the Med, if you've done the Caribbean, definitely try a river cruise, and you're not going to go far wrong with picking one of the market leaders, which is Viking.
Well, if you're looking for something different, this is certainly the way to go. The great thing about this too is savings once again. £1,000 per person off the brochure price. £1,000 per person. So a couple of you go on this, that's £2,000 saving right away. Here's another nice thing, it is deposit only. So if you've got any questions like this about any of the cruises today, just call the number at the bottom of the screen, 0800 781 5458. But this is an extraordinary opportunity for you. So imagine being able to go to Bordeaux.
Yeah, and of course you're going to be flying out to Bordeaux where you actually meet the actual ship itself, and the rest of the day is actually yours to relax, and that's the great thing. There's no sort of rushing around. Second only to Paris in its historic content. That's the great thing. You know, when you see some of these locations, you think, I'm sure I've seen that in a film, and it's one of the most graceful ports that you're ever going to see on the Garonne River as well, and of course that's part of another UNESCO World Heritage Site as well. You're going to be overnight there. And that's, again, I've got to stress that where most cruise lines, they're sailing, you're overnight. Then you're into day two, which is Bordeaux and the Cadillac region, of course. Yes, it is the place where you give the name to the famous American motor car. You're actually going to be going around the city centre in the morning and see some of Bordeaux's highlights, including some of the great palaces and some of the largest squares in Europe. Very neoclassical. You've got the Grand Theatre de Bordeaux as well, spectacular churches. And then later on that afternoon, you board the ship and sail upstream. So you go along the Garonne River to Cadillac, which is another beautiful little small town with a fantastic castle, so lots to see and do there. Then day three, you're going to be spending in Javon. And you're going to start your day with another tour, and this is a great way. Head across the river for your excursion, and you're going to find out how the dessert wines of this region are actually made, and taste some of the examples on the tour. No doubt there'll be an opportunity to bring some back as well, but all I'd say is just remember you are flying back. Just enjoy them, enjoy the moment. Then, of course, you're going to be on to day 5, which is Blaye, and this 17th century citadel, really dramatic because it's set on a rock beside the river, really gothic. You can see here, I mean, we have some great ruins of castles in the UK, but when you see some of these, again, another UNESCO World Heritage Site, from there, you're actually going to go to the Cognac region as well.
One of my favourite drinks.
See, this is the thing, a lot of people forget, you know, you drink the drink, but you don't actually understand where it comes from. And then you're into, again, I mentioned this earlier on, Pauillac. This is a great wine region. If you've never actually tried the wine, you've got to try it. It really is. Now, with this, you're going to be relaxing on board in the evening again. You're going to be going around the marina. You've got the Plaza Lafayette as well, and you've got one of the biggest Rothschild vineyards as well. The Rothschilds, massive family, and of course a long history with wine. But the actual chateaux that you see, there's a few actually not far from where I live in Bicester, and it's just beautiful. But just imagine that actually in France and tasting the wine as well. You can't get more authentic than that.
And we're talking about, you know, maybe souvenirs or bringing back some wines. Don't forget you could go for something different, like a decanter, so you've got something to remind you of that trip. So you can use that time and 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 time again. And you could obviously get your French wines when you're out and about. It is a stunning, stunning trip. The ships are gorgeous.
I tell you what, one of the great things as well, before you actually disembark the ship on the final morning, you actually get this beautiful on-board breakfast, again from the Viking chefs, and then you're actually travelling back. So, you know, sometimes when you're getting up and you're rushing to the airport and it almost seems, right, cruise is over, home.
Yeah.
No, just relax, unwind. And that's, I can't really sum it up. It's quite difficult. The difference between river cruising and an ocean cruising. I've done the Rhine, and I've done parts of Holland as well with the IJsselmeer. I should imagine this is going to be very much the same. It's a completely different pace.
Yeah,
it's very, very relaxed. I mean, you can see there the onboard facilities of the actual ship itself is brilliant.
Let's take an opportunity to remind you what's included in this deal. $1,089, that's £1,000 saving you've got here. Free Wi-Fi throughout the trip, which is wonderful. Huge savings, as we've already covered. This offer does end on the 30th of June, so time is running out. Please call the guys and talk to them. Return flights available from London, Birmingham, Manchester, Glasgow and Edinburgh, and all your overseas transferred. And of course there are supplements available too. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, anything you think, well, I'd get it if only I knew this, I only knew that, talk to the experts. 0800 781 5458. You can see all of the highlights there, and Justin, in all fairness, has been through all of those for you. Let's go through the prices. You can see from £1,089, £1,000 saving here. Dates available in March, April, November and December, so there really is something available for everyone. But unfortunately we have to keep moving on because we've still got 2 more cruises to squeeze in. Now we're going to move on to Oceania Cruises right now, and again this is where Keith's got the best job out of all of us here, because he gets to go on the ship and tell you all about it. Watch this.
In 2003, 2 of luxury cruises' biggest names teamed up to create one of the best value-for-money options in cruising. A destination-intensive, floating hotel experience with top-notch food and superior service. Welcome to a cruise line for enthusiastic foodies, where you can have whatever you want, whenever you want. This is value without compromise. This is Oceania Cruises. Oceania have an open seating dining experience where all the specialty restaurants are complimentary with no hidden fees. But you know what's truly impressive is the quality of the ingredients, with the beef and the lamb sourced from their own farm in Colorado and the seafood from their own farm in Maine. It's a culinary journey you will never ever want to end. When you cruise with Oceania, unlimited complimentary soft drinks, bottled water, specialty coffees, teas and juices are all included in the price on every sailing. Or if, like me, you're a coffee lover, then this is definitely the cruise line for you, with the legendary Illy coffee served all day and night here in Baristas. If you're a lover of the arts, then you're going to find the entertainment both engrossing and exciting. You can attend a live classical concert under the stars, or marvel at magicians and comedians, or soak up a fantastic show. The award-winning Canyon Ranch Spa has been the acknowledged world leader in healthy living expertise, and a haven of luxury and comfort and warmth for over 30 years. And it's no surprise then that they chose Oceania Cruises as the perfect partner. And on board all the ships you can relax in open-air whirlpools, indulge in detoxifying body wraps, or enjoy the latest Eastern treatments such as shiatsu, reflexology and acupuncture. The generous proportions of Oceania Cruises' suites and staterooms are the ultimate in luxury. You can plump the goose-down pillows of your prestige tranquility bed, or breathe in the fresh sea air on your private teak veranda. Whatever it is, Oceania's suites feature oversized living and dining areas, as well as marble and granite-clad bathrooms and bathtubs.
There you go, you get to see a wonderful, wonderful cruise line. This is Oceania, the ship is the Riviera, and we've got 11 nights around the Mediterranean. Where do we go to?
Well, you're going out to Venice, and I'd usually recommend booking an extra night so you can go out in Venice, but you've already got your overnight on board.
They've thought of everything.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to extend it, you can have a couple of nights there because there's so much to see. You've got St Mark's Square, you've got, of course, the classics like the Rialto Bridge, the Bridge of Sighs. One little place just around from St Mark's Square is the Hotel Daniele, the best Bellinis that I've ever tasted. The actual waiters have all got white gloves on. So it's probably an expensive drink, but it's well worth it. And of course, there's the Rialto Bridge as well. So a lovely way to start your cruise off. And all I would say is when you cruise out of Venice, whatever time of day or night it is, you've got to be up on deck because the Grand Canal is one of the best scenes. Yeah. Then you're going into Slovenia. Now, this is a beautiful, tiny place. We've got Dubrovnik coming up, which is quite grand. This is on a smaller scale. Of course, you've got lots of medieval architecture there, lovely open-air market, and it really is one of those places. It's all about the rustic foods of the local regions, because of course, remember, you go to Italy, you expect the Italian salads, but when you go into these different places, try the local delicacies, which we'll come to a little bit later. On to the next spot, which is one of my favourites, Dubrovnik. Of course, it's a walled city. You can walk the wall as well. Takes well, it depends on how fit and how leisurely you want to take it. There's some little stop-off points where you can get refreshments. The little harbour's great as well, but walking around the town is beautiful. And one place you've got to go to, I always mention it, you've got to go to the candle shop in Dubrovnik. It's one of the best places you've ever seen. Then you're on to Montenegro, and Kotor is a fantastic fishing port. You've got a really big maritime history here. I mean, you can see the scenery that you've got, the mountains. It's absolutely stunning. A lot of people think that Casino Royale was actually filmed here. It's based in the novel here, but it wasn't actually shot there. So just need to point that one out, but a great place to visit. Then we're going on to Italy as well, Bari. Again, this is where you can go to get the authentic Italian produce. Some of the focaccia breads that they produce here. And some of the actual soups that you can dip the breads into, something like, forget your paninis. That's too, sort of coffee generation in the UK. Yeah. This is where you're going to enjoy those caprese salads. Yeah. This is where you're going to enjoy the authentic. I got to admit,
I love Italian food. Absolutely,
it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, delicious.
Then you're on to Corfu. This is a great island, of course. Again, completely contrasting because you've got the tavernas. In Corfu, there's some great little bars. In fact, just round there, you just missed it. There's a great bar. I always have to point out the great bars. Just right round the edge there, if you keep on going, it's just on the edge of that sort of point. I can see the
great views as well.
Anyway, we'll have to go there. Corfu, of course, you've got the Achillean Palace. You've got fantastic Greek architecture and mythology that comes through.
Colour of the water.
Yeah, well, we're talking about the colour of the water, but we're going to save that to when we get down a little bit further into our sort of Greek odyssey that we've got here. We're going into Gytheon in Greece. Now, this is a great little port. Apparently, this is where the tiny little island where Helen of Troy spent the night. So I know there's a little bit of a connection there for you.
Yeah, wife's called Helen, son's called Troy.
Wonder why. Then we're into Santorini.
Yes. Yeah, I love Santorini. It's my favourite Greek island. I absolutely love it. In fact, I was dating my wife. When we were working together on the cruise ships, we dated and we used to visit this port every week.
Look at that.
Come on, that has got to be the classical photograph that you see of Greece. The white buildings, the blue domes. Now, what you may not know is that they actually, all the little islands of Santorini form a circle because it's actually the mouth of a volcano. It's a dormant volcano. You can actually go to the volcanic part right there in the middle. It's called a caldera because the volcanic part is now filled in with water. And this is actually, they believe, they're not 100% sure, but they're getting more and more sure by the year. They believe that this was Atlantis.
I know, so really great port. Then you're going into Kusadasi,
another
Turkey. This again is, your history. You've got some of the greatest, the 7 wonders of the world.
This is just up the road from Kusadasi or Kusadasi, say different ways. But Ephesus is actually an ancient Greek city. It is absolutely stunning. The architecture is amazing. You'll get to find here that they had underfloor heating. You've got an amphitheatre. There's a library. Here's an interesting story that they will tell you. There's actually an underground passage from the library to the loos. There's the library there, and you can take the underground passage to the loos across the road, and apparently that's because in the loos, that's where the prostitutes were. So the fellows, no, I'm not joking. The fellows were going to the library to look like they were going to the library, and then they took the underground tunnel. But yeah, they'll tell you all of that when you're there.
Should we move on?
Yeah, see, nothing's changed. Nothing. Well, maybe it has.
We'll go on to Istanbul. Is there any libraries in Istanbul that you recommend?
I absolutely love it. Of course, you've got to go to one of the mosques here. Hagia Sophia, Blue Mosque.
And of course, there's a great clash of cultures that you've got here. Well, we talked about James Bond earlier on in Montenegro. This was actually where they filmed Skyfall, across the Grand Bazaar. There is thousands of stores. You can get a suit made, you can buy a carpet. It's just one of the greatest experiences, and you've got to go and have a little bit of a barter. Also, the Bosphorus, another great salient point, because up on there's the barracks where Florence Nightingale, the story came from, so definitely one worth to get up early for.
Now, when we talk about the cruises, I really hate to go on about money, but I need to tell you about the savings, because we've said huge savings already today. These are ridiculously high. You can save £1,850 on an interior cabin. You can save almost £3,000, £2,810 if you decide to go for a veranda. Do not miss out on this cruise. Write down the ID number, 84382. 84382, and that's 11 nights around the Med. You do not want to miss out on it. Brilliant savings to be had. But of course, we've still got one more cruise to share with you. We're going to take the opportunity right now to go to Princess Cruises. And in fact, this is the line on which I proposed to my wife. We're going to show you a video clip right now, and Chris was lucky enough to go on board.
Christened by Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cambridge in June 2013, Princess Cruises' Royal Princess is a multi-award-winning addition to an already stunning fleet. USA Today has hailed the Royal Princess as one of the best cruise ships for foodies. You can dine at a set time with the same people or any time with anyone. Old favourites such as the succulent steaks at the Crown Grill and the hearty Italian fare of Sabatini's sit alongside new additions like the wonderful waffles of gelato or the sushi and oysters of the Ocean Terrace. One of the unique features of all Princess Cruises ships is that they feature a grand atrium based on an Italian town piazza. It's a great place to read a book with a coffee or to meet up and socialise with fellow guests. But best of all, every now and then you'll be treated to some fantastic street performances that are guaranteed to put a smile on your face. Royal Princess features a glass-bottomed enclosed walkway. It offers incredible views of the ocean by day and lights up for romantic strolls by night. On the opposite side, there's a matching over-the-water bar where you simply must try a sail-away sunset cocktail, because the views over there are guaranteed to take your breath away. The high-definition outdoor cinema called Movies Under the Stars that Princess Cruises is famous for introducing is twice as big on Royal Princess, but even more impressive is the water and light show. In the evening, the top deck pools transform into a dazzling interactive sound and light show, accompanied by dancing fountains that shoot water up to 33 feet into the night sky. There are 5 luxurious grades of stateroom to choose from, but what's really impressive on board Royal Princess is that even interior staterooms feature queen-size beds with 100% Egyptian cotton sheets, 37-inch flat-screen TVs and powerful massage shower heads. Plus, it's worth noting that all outside cabins on Royal Princess have balconies. The award-winning Lotus Spa offers all sorts of treats, and the theatre, in keeping with the rest of the ship, is Princess Cruises' biggest yet. What's really special though is Princess Live. Another cruise first is a dedicated TV studio presenting broadcast-ready events, including interactive culinary shows, live concerts, late-night comedy, game shows, and you can be part of the studio audience.
Now, it's worth mentioning before we get going into the itinerary that we're talking here 22 nights, and this is a Christmas cruise. This is a Christmas cruise. Don't miss out on it. ID number is 83264. Now, you're going to fly to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, fly out to Fort Lauderdale. You've got 2 great relaxing days at sea to get used to the ship, because of course Princess ship's a grand class ship. You've got plenty of entertainment on board. But the first Caribbean port that you're going into is Antigua. 365 beaches, one for every day of the year. It's just a fantastic Caribbean island. Then of course you're on to St Lucia, Castries. Now this is a brilliant port. You go to see the pitons. Got to go to Spinnaker Bay. There's a great bar up there. And one place that if you want to do something a little bit different, there's the pitons. And of course they do the piton beer as well. Taste one of those. Go around to Marigot Bay, and that's where they filmed the original Dr. Dolittle. And there's a lovely place called Discovery. It's a resort that you can go into, and it's really, really nice. They've got a champagne and cocktail bar there. I'm going to try and say it correctly. It's called the Giant Great Pink Sea Snail. Nearly. From the Dr. Dolittle.
I've heard that,
So great place to go in St Lucia. Then you're into Barbados. I love this. This is just something. This is our turnaround port.
Well,
for
this is
every
a
2
classic
weeks.
Caribbean cruise, isn't it?
It's one of the best because it's rustic, but it's still quite great, good for your modern facilities. Bridgetown is great. You've got Sandy Lane if you want to go and see where Simon Cowell and the rest
Harrison's
of the celebrities.
Case, we just saw.
On top of that as well, you've got to go down to St Lawrence Gap. There's some fantastic beaches down there. So a great place all in all, and really good duty free because it's a very, very regular port for turnaround. So for turnarounds for the cruise ships.
Now, I've got to be honest with you, of all the years, 18 years I was at sea, I never got to St Kitts.
You never got to St Kitts?
Never got there, never got there.
Another volcanic island, and this is really rustic. It's got a really big open air market, so where the cruise ships dock, you've got all the locals that come down, and it's the best place to get the souvenirs that are rustic. So you'll absolutely love St Kitts. There's some great outdoor activities like quad biking that you can go on some of the tours, scuba diving as well. We're going to come back to that in a couple of minutes' time when we get down to the ABC Islands and Bonaire, because that's just brilliant down there. Then from St Kitts, you're on to St Thomas. Now, this is an American island. And I think the facilities reflect that. It is all jewellery and watches stores. There's some fantastic
But you can get out of Charlotte, can't you? You can get over to the other side. Maggins Bay, one of the best beaches in the world.
I was just going to say, beaches.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. Right, we've got so much to get through. Then we're going to be going to Princess Keys. Now, this is in the Bahamas. You're going to get 2 days in Princess Keys, either side of Fort Lauderdale. This is a private island where all the ship's company take all of the food and drink ashore.
So it's a private Princess Island.
Yeah, this is your water sports day, this is your chill out day. Then you're into Fort Lauderdale. Shopping! You love the Galleria, don't you?
Right, yeah, the Galleria shopping mall, yeah.
Sawgrass Mills is great. All I'd say is make sure that you've got a suitcase that's quite empty.
So
you want to bring
this
a lot
is
back.
because we've got 2 cruises, so we get back to Fort Lauderdale, and then we go on the second cruise, which is a different itinerary.
Yeah, and the great thing is, if you'd just done the first part of the cruise, you'd only fly out to Fort Lauderdale, join the ship, and then go. But you get a day in Fort Lauderdale.
Perfect.
Because you've got the second part, which is, of course, again, a new cruise, then Princess Keys is the first port of call. Nice, relaxing day. Then you've got a relaxing day at sea into St Martin. Now, this is your port where you want to go for all your electronics. Really great pedestrianised area. It's French and Dutch. Brilliant island for all of your electronics and duty-frees.
Dominica, love it.
I absolutely love this. You've got to go to Champagne Beach. And there's bubbles that come up through the sand, hence the name. There's some great waterfalls as well. And one thing that I would actually recommend, get a local guide on this one. Just go down to the quayside, have a chat, have a little bit of a button, get a local guide. That's some of the best places.
Then we go to Grenada. Got to go to Grand Anse Beach. Come on, we've got to go to Grand Anse Beach.
This is Spice Island. There's a great spice market just on the quayside. And just watch, when you get off the quayside, there is a Victorian post box right in the middle of it. It's the strangest thing in the middle of the Caribbean, but you've got to check that. And as I say, Grand Anse Beach, it's the place to go.
What's the wreck?
I didn't actually go there, no. But I tell you what, some of the forts. Remember, some of the forts that you've got here, greatest historic ports. Then you're into Bonaire.
Now, you said ABC. I've been to Aruba, been to Curacao.
Yeah, which we're going to later.
Bonaire.
Yeah, Bonaire, great, one of the third greatest diving spots. And if you've never been scuba diving, go scuba diving here. Do a try dive. Right. I went with a Dutch guy from this place called the Yellow Submarine. It was the craziest experience, but one of the best experiences I've ever had. Curacao, though, you're just mentioning, this is just great. You get off, walk through this little market square, go and see where the cocoa, the parrot's still there. This parrot has been there for years, and as you know, they live to a great old age. The colourful buildings that you got in Curacao are just amazing. And one little place to go to is a place called Governor Grill, greatest food on the island.
Well, then you've got 2 days at sea to chill out and look back on a wonderful holiday you've had. Bear in mind that this was at Christmas, 22 nights. That's an 11-day cruise and an 11-day cruise. It's absolutely amazing opportunity for you. And when you think 22 days around all the classic Caribbean ports from £1,699, that is such a brilliant opportunity. So it's time to get your pen and paper out. It's time to write down some of these numbers and make sure that you don't miss out, or at least write the phone number down, call the team and have a chat with them. Now, we're just giving you the bare bones of these holidays. You've got the opportunity to now fine-tune those. You could have an extra day at the port of call. You could have a start, maybe catch a flight from a different airport. Call the team and ask them if they can do that for you. Come on, let's recap everything we've done so far on this particular show. we started off with such a great opportunity for you. It was the Norwegian Fjords from Harwich, so UK to UK, with Holland, America. Don't miss out on that. From £479. Come on, don't tell me you can't afford a cruise. That is so affordable. Our second cruise was Celebrity. Remember, Ruth joined us. This is a brilliant opportunity. 13 nights for £999. This is a flash sale. You're going to get a free upgrade as well from Ocean View to balcony. Huge savings on that particular trip. Then we have P&O. This is where Justin spent 6 years, so we learned a lot of information about that tonight. Again, a flash sale on this from £699 for 14 nights. That works out around £50 per person per night. You can, if you want to, add that first night at the Meon Valley, so you're in Southampton the night before the ship arrives, and that will also include your parking and return port transfers. And then we went to the river cruise, Viking Cruises, wine country. What a brilliant opportunity for you. 7 nights of beautiful wines, a great experience, and just £1,089. Big savings on there. £1,000 per person is your savings, so don't miss out on that. But that offer does end 30th of June, so do write that phone number down, 0800 781 5458. Then, of course, we moved on to Oceania. Beautiful cruise line. We're talking first class here, and it really is a great opportunity. You've got the free upgrade. This is why you want to go Planet Cruise. Free upgrade from Ocean View to Veranda. Return flights, you got your overnight in Venice and Istanbul. Huge savings on here. We talked about £1,850 off your brochure price, and you can save even more, almost £1,000 saving if you decided to go for the Veranda. That's £2,810 saved if you go Veranda. And of course, this last one, and I'll apologise for whizzing through the Princess Cruise trip. It was so much information for Justin to share with you. It is Christmas. It's 2 11-night cruises back to back, so you get the opportunity to actually go and see Fort Lauderdale. Some great shopping to be had there. Let's just remind you how easy it is to get in touch with Planet Cruise. Of course, you've got the phone number, but you can go to their website. That's new and impressive. I say new, probably about 6 months ago now, but it is wonderful. You've got Twitter, you've got Facebook, and their YouTube channel is brilliant because you can actually see these videos that we've been showing you, see the ports of call, and see the cruise ships themselves. Don't forget, this Sunday, Planet Cruise Holiday Show in Southampton. Register for that. Go see the guys, free entry, and you're going to get to meet over 30 of the cruise lines themselves, and there will be exclusive deals available. And don't forget, you can email in if you've got any questions for Sean or Keith. Well, that was a breakneck speed today.
Yeah.
It really was. Congratulations.
We
shared so much information.
I love the fact that we've got Viking Cruises in there, something different for those of you that have always done ocean cruising. The flash sales that we had there with Holland America,
Crazy
the price,
prices.
and the Oceania cruise, the discount on that, and that Christmas cruise at the end, that is just a beautiful, beautiful cruise.
Come on, take the opportunity. Many people will consider this to be the cruise of a lifetime. You know, but today you got the opportunity to have a sneaky holiday. For £650, come on, it's a sneaky holiday. But of course, you could go for 2 weeks or even 3 weeks if you wanted to, and have that lifetime cruise. If you've got any questions or anything like that in the nature of this Sunday and you want to ask those to Keith or to Sean, then take the opportunity to buzz in an email to us. Hey, let me say thanks to you.
Great to be here again.
Really enjoyed the show. Let's say thanks to you for watching. And of course, there's many more cruise shows coming your way. Don't miss out on them, but don't miss out on these spectacular prices that we brought you today in our flash sale right here with Planet Cruise.